Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the channel where we are going to be going back to the Milwaukee Bucks and seeing what they have been up to in their past quite a few games, as we're going to be doing 13 or 14 games, depending on how the math works out, from games 23 through 36 on season. And to be honest, hasn't looked quite good recently for the team, but we'll see if they'll be able to bounce back here in the new year. The first game we're going to be talking about today is the Bucks 109-102 victory over the Orlando Magic, where the Bucks were pretty much in control of the game throughout, except for a little bit in the fourth quarter where the Magic did go on a run, but the Bucks were able to put them away, no problem. Leaders for the game, guys, were in double digits. Giannis Antetokounmpo had 34 points, 13 boards, 5 assists, 2 blocks to lead the team. Bobby Portis, starting in for Brook Lopez, who was off that day, had 18 points and 10 boards. Chris Middleton struggled in the game, going 1 for 11 from the field, 5 points, 5 assists. Drew Holiday had himself a double-double with 17 points and 10 assists. And there's a couple of guys off the bench I want to highlight for the Bucks here. AJ Green, our second-round rookie, had 12 points and going 3 for 5 from 3. And Sandro Mamukele, I don't know how to pronounce his name, I apologize for that, had 8 points, 6 boards, and 2 of 3 from 3 as well. And that pretty much is it for the Bucks, as they kind of held off against 3 to 20 point scorers for the Magic and Paolo Banchero, Franz Wagner, and Markelle Fultz. The next game for the Bucks was a 126-113 absolute smacking of the Sacramento Kings, who have since gone to be one of the best teams in the NBA. Giannis obviously led the team in scoring, but all 5 of our starters had double-digit points. Giannis finished with 35 points, 12 of 19 from the field, 2 of 2 from 3, 6 boards, 7 assists, and a steal. Drew Holiday had the second highest points on the team. He had 31 on 12 of 23 shooting, 5 boards, 6 assists. Chris Middleton had 14 points, 6 boards, 6 assists. Brook Lopez, 17 points, 9 boards, 3 assists, and a block. And Grayson Allen had 10 points, 6 boards, 4 assists. Not really too much on the bench, as majority of the scoring came from our starters, and they were able to just completely outclass the Sacramento Kings. Next up on the docket was an absolutely epic game between the Milwaukee Bucks and the Dallas Mavericks, where both Luka Doncic and Giannis were on point in a game that was decided on the last play when George Hill made a perfect lob pass to Brook Lopez for the win. And in this game, Giannis has not played the last few minutes, as he found out. Looking at the box score, Giannis had a team-high 28 points, 10 rebounds, 3 assists, and a steal, but he did foul out with like half of the fourth quarter remaining, but the Bucks were still able to rally back to get victory. Chris Middleton had 19 points, 3 boards, and 5 assists. Lopez didn't do too much scoring except for on that final play. He had 4 points, 6 boards, 3 blocks. Drew Holiday had 17 points, 7 boards, 6 assists. Grayson Allen had 12 points, 5 boards, 5 assists, and 2 steals. Bobby Portis had 10 points and 8 boards off the bench. And we were able to really hold the Mavericks outside of Luka, because Luka is just absolutely incredible to really not much of anything. Luka finished with 33 points, 6 boards, and 11 assists, as the Bucks move on to 19-6 on the season. After playing one of the best basketball games of the year, the Bucks laid an egg against one of the worst teams in the NBA, losing 97-92 to the Houston Rockets, in a game where no one was really playing well. Leading scorer for the Bucks was Drew Holiday, who finished with 25 points, 6 boards, 8 assists on 9 of 20 shooting, so not really efficient. Giannis had 16 points, 8 boards, 4 assists, 2 blocks. Middleton played 6 minutes before leaving the game with an injury, finishing with 0 points. Lopez has 7 points and 3 blocks. And we had 2 other guys in double digits, with Grayson Allen having 11 points and Bobby Portis finishing with 17. The main reason why we lost was Jalen Green of the Houston Rockets had 30 points. That was absolutely on fire for them. And so the Bucks fell to 19-7. The Bucks were able to rebound pretty nicely after that loss to Houston by defeating the Golden State Warriors 128-111 behind a 3-headed attack of Giannis, Middleton, and Portis. Giannis finished the game with 30 points, 12 rebounds, 5 assists on 9 and 26 shooting. Middleton had 20 points to go along with 4 boards and 3 assists. Bobby, off the bench, had 25 points and 11 boards. The only other guy who had double-digit scoring was Grayson Allen, who had 16 points on a perfect 6 of 6 shooting. The other stat leaders for the game, Brook Lopez had 2 blocks to go along with 7 points and 7 rebounds. And Javon Carter had 3 steals to go with 4 points, 3 assists, and 4 rebounds for the Bucks. Move on to 20-7. The less said about this game, the better, as the Bucks got absolutely trounced by the Memphis Grizzlies 142-101 in a game where the Bucks shot like dog crap. And the Grizzlies were able to shoot very, very well. Giannis had 19 points on a terrible 5 of 13 shooting, 6 boards, 5 assists. None of the other starters even cracked over 5 points besides Javon Carter, who had 9 after going 3 of 4 from 3. Middleton had 3 points, shot absolutely awful, 1 for 12 on his 1 3-pointer in the game. Lopez had 4 points, and Allen had 4 points as well. Off the bench, there were some bright spots. Bobby Portis, again, played pretty well, had 19 points, 7 boards. Jordan Nwora had 10 points. AJ Green had 10 points, and Marjon Beauchamp had 12 points. But all that was after the game really was decided, as the Grizzlies. John Morant had a triple-double, 25, 10, and 10. They had 2 starters in double digits, and 5 guys off the bench scored in double digits for the Grizzlies, as the Bucks got manhandled. Now that is more like it. The Bucks were able to absolutely trounce the Utah Jazz 123-97 without Giannis and without Middleton. And Bobby Portis led the way. He finished with 22 points, 14 rebounds, not 24. That is a mistake on the graphic. I apologize for that. And then Holiday also had a really good game, had 21 points, 8 assists, 4 boards. Lopez played really great defense, had 18 points, 8 rebounds, and 3 blocks. Grayson Allen had a decent night shooting, had 13 points as well. And off the bench, Marjon Beauchamp had an absolutely incredible game. 18 points, including going 4 of 7 from 3, as the Bucks were able to bounce back after that terrible loss to the Grizzlies. The Bucks were able to win their second straight game against Zion Williamson and the New Orleans Pelicans, 128-119 behind 2 dominant performances by Giannis and Brook Lopez. Giannis was absolutely incredible with 42 points and 10 rebounds in the game. And Brook Lopez finished it with 30 points, 8 boards, and 3 assists and a block. Holiday also had a double-double, finishing with 18 points and 11 assists. Also not a team high. I also had 2 steals. Allen and Beauchamp also both had 6 points in the starting lineup. Off the bench, Javon Carter was the key contributor, getting 8 points, 5 boards, 3 assists, 3 steals, and a block. And Pat Connaughton was in double digits for the first time this year, getting 11 points off the bench. And the Bucks moved on to 22-8, 30 games into the season. The Bucks lost a close game to the Cleveland Cavaliers, 114-106, despite Giannis going off for 45 points. The reason why is just that the Cavaliers were just able to get off to a better start than the Bucks, even though they tried to come back in that second half. They were just not able to do so. Giannis had 45 points, 14 boards, 4 assists, a steal, and 2 blocks in the game, but the rest of the team did not really show up. Only 2 other guys were in double digits. Brook Lopez had 14 points, 6 boards, 2 assists, and 2 steals, and a block. And Marjon Beauchamp had 11 points in the starting lineup. Holiday had 9 points, shot really ineffectively, also had 8 assists and 9 boards. And then off the bench, Bobby Portis had 6, Javon Carter had 6, and Pat Connaughton had 6. In a game the Bucks probably would have won if just one more guy just stepped up a little more. The Bucks lost their second straight game, 118-100 against the Brooklyn Nets. In a game they weren't really close in after the entire starting lineup for the Nets scored in double digits, and Kevin Durant was playing incredibly well. Giannis led the team in scoring, had 26 points, 13 boards, 7 assists, and 2 steals, but also had 7 turnovers that did not help matters at all. Lopez had 23 points, 5 boards, and a steal. Jrue Holiday had 18 points and 5 assists, and then the only other player really worth mentioning was Bobby Portis, had another double-double off the bench, had 10 points and 12 boards. And the only block of the game belonged to Javon Carter as the Bucks slipped down to 22-10 on the season. This year's Christmas Day game against the Celtics did not go the Bucks' way, as the Celtics shot incredibly well from 3 at a high volume, winning the game overall 139-118 behind dominant performances of Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. For the Bucks, Giannis had 27 points, 9 boards, 3 assists. Jrue Holiday had 23 points, 6 rebounds, 7 assists, and 2 steals. Pat Connaughton had 15 points in the starting lineup. Joe Ingles had 11 points off the bench. Brook Lopez in the starting lineup had 16 points, 5 rebounds, and a block. And that, again, was the only block of the game, as the defense really could not do anything against the Celtics offense, as Tatum scored 41 points and Brown scored 29 for the Celtics, dropping the Bucks to 22-11 and their 3rd straight loss. The Bucks finally snapped their 4-game losing streak, beating the Minnesota Timberwolves 123-114 behind, again, another dominant game by Giannis, as he had 43 points, 20 rebounds, 5 assists, a steal, and 2 blocks. Brook Lopez also played well, had 13 points, 6 rebounds, and 4 blocks. Javon Carter had 10 points and 3 and 5 assists. Off the bench, Bobby Portis had another double-double, had 22 points and 14 rebounds. Joe Ingles had his first good game with the Bucks, had 14 points and team-high 10 assists. And AJ Green and Marjon Beauchamp both had a couple of good moments off the bench late in the game. And it was just nice to see the Bucks win another game after that kind of embarrassing 4-game losing streak. In the final game that we are covering in today's video, the Bucks were without Giannis, Holiday, and Middleton against the Washington Wizards. And when you don't have your 3 best players, you're most likely going to lose, as they did 118-95. But that's okay, as it was expected due to the lack of our top 3. Bobby Portis had a good game, had 19 points, 10 boards, 2 assists, and a steal. Brook Lopez had 8 points, a block, 10 boards. Javon Carter had 14 points and 3 assists. Pat Connaughton had 10, and Grayson Allen also had 10. Off the bench, the 2 rookies, AJ Green and Marjon Beauchamp, both had double digits. Green had 10 points, Beauchamp had 11. And Serge Ibaka led the team in steals with 2. And the Bucks entering in the new year are 23-13. They're struggling a bit right now, as they are still trying to figure out the rotation with guys like Ingles and Middleton coming back from injury, and also guys have been in and out of the lineup constantly. This team just really needs to get healthy, and then they will be able to really, I think, put it all together to make a run for another championship. Well, that is all I have for today, guys. Thank you so much for sticking by this entire video. If you like the content, please remember to comment and subscribe to the channel down below. It's much appreciated, and I'll see you all again very, very soon.